Hi, I'm Paula Humby. Welcome back to Sustainable Me, a series about finding ways to live more sustainably in Edmonton, Alberta. After past episodes looking at food, water, housing, and transportation in a new way, I'm starting to look at our current economy through a different lens.
I see the headlights turn into sunrise. We're building real long and hear the deep hurt, and we will step on to greet the new.
Unlimited growth. What's been pushed in our economy for 200 years just doesn't really seem sustainable anymore. Kenton Zurban from the housing episode wants a starter home, but our current consumer model makes people work for a really long time to pay off big debts in the form of a mortgage, which just didn't work for Kenton. His way around that was to build a tiny house for less cost and no debt. On a wider scale, we need a new economic model so we can afford to live. To find out how permaculture can be applied to the economy, I'm meeting up with my friend Jordan Wilson from the Edmonton Permaculture Guild on his way to work. Oh, there he is now. So how can permaculture support the economy with a finite number of resources?
Well, like any natural system, the way that the biosphere does it is it cycles resources within the system as many times as it can. There's always a different organism that's going to make use of that waste, and it's going to continue to cycle that and turn it into something else that will be useful for something else. So when you're dealing with finite resources, you just try to make them fit in the system as much as possible. So if you're talking about money, you buy things locally so that the people who you're buying things from will continue to buy things locally and keep that money within the system.
Creating less waste.
Well, you definitely do create less waste. I mean, and the waste really is a human concept. In the natural world, waste is entirely foreign. The only waste products that we currently have in the world are man-made products that nothing has been able to find a use for. Radiation is one of the big ones.
Recirculating. That makes me think of Curtis Wanchuk's swales that help prevent water runoff and feed his trees. Or Kieran's pogo cars that are used by all kinds of people. So if this economic model is different than my parents and my grandparents, how can it be applied to consumers in Edmonton, Alberta, home of North America's largest indoor mall? I have to be able to apply this to my own life. After all, what do I spend all my money on? You got it, clothes. I asked Alyssa Lau, who's an eco-stylist and a fashion blogger for ordinary people, to teach me a bit about her shopping habits and her hashtag, Wear the Change. So today, she's taking me shopping. So, Alyssa, why do you shop secondhand?
Secondhand for me, it's a really great way to shop for sustainable clothing for a really great price.
How do you know what's quality? Are you looking for brands? Are you looking for specific fabrics?
I don't just look at brands, so for me it's really how it feels. So if it feels like it's going to disintegrate in your fingers, that's definitely a no-no. And even looking at the stitching and the hemming is a really great way to tell the quality. If the seams are coming apart, if there's any like loose strings.
What is sustainable fashion?
Sustainable fashion is an umbrella term. So sustainable fashion is in part trying to make the fashion industry a little more green, a little better for the environment.
So this really is your passion.
Yeah, I mean, it's really become something that I'm super interested about. The first book I actually read on sustainability was called Naked Fashion, and my cousin bought it for me as a gift. It has really, really thoughtful interviews with women in Cambodia who get paid ridiculously low amounts, and they have to suffer through like inhumane working conditions. And so just kind of reading about their experiences kind of I guess, shed some light on this matter because not a lot of people know what's going on.
What is the environmental impact of fashion right now?
Pesticides and insecticides. Those are a huge part of the fashion industry, so for cotton pieces. And also chemical dyes are really important. So a really great way, as I said before, is make sure that your materials are either sustainable, natural, or at least high quality so they last.
Oh, and shopping secondhand.
Exactly.
I decided to check in with some high schools to see what's being taught about this concept of the circle economy. Dustin Bajer has designed several sustainability projects around Jasper Place High School. So, Dustin, can you explain to me the needs and yields equation?
Sure. The idea behind needs and yields is really comes from ecology. In a forest, the end of every single process is the beginning of another one.
Can you give me a concrete example of how that's working maybe around the school?
A couple of years ago, we had a student at the school, Alex Villeneuve, who started taking some of our waste products here at the school and inoculating them with oyster mushrooms. So literally turning waste into the need of food.
Oh, maybe we'll have to go talk to him.
You really should.
Alex, can you tell me a bit about what you're doing here?
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're taking wasted brewers' grains, which are predominantly barley and wheat. We're able to take those and biologically enhance them with oyster mushroom mycelium. We produce mushrooms, which we can sell, and then as a byproduct of producing these mushrooms, we take the mycelium blocks and mix it with a couple of other ingredients and then feed it to cattle.
What are all the uses of the mushrooms?
So right now we're looking into permaculture applications, reforestation, oil field remediation, which is really exciting.
You were talking earlier about now there's all these breweries that are growing and they don't have a way to get rid of this waste. So how do you come into that equation?
Traditionally what brewers were used to do is they were located near the outskirts of cities or they were big enough, is what they would do is they would have farmers come in and take the grains away to use as feed unenhanced. That isn't applicable anymore. They're right in the middle of downtown,
right.
Edmonton or downtown Calgary. You just can't have a farmer come in, it's not efficient. And what we will be doing in the next couple of months is we've already approached quite a few breweries, 8 breweries, and all of them have been very interested in working with us. We're going to be offering a spent grain removal service at significantly less than that they're paying already. So everything has a need and everything has a yield. I was just able to line up the outputs of the brewery that weren't being effectively utilized, and these mushrooms need that. So I was able to put them together, and now I have a really great operations.
Finding the yield or value in waste is an important part of the circle economy. It's sort of like the old making something out of nothing idea, but like with solar power, it's making use of something that's abundant and free. Today, I'm visiting the Edmonton Waste Management Center. I want to see what the city is doing with our waste. I'm here on top of the old Clover Bar landfill with Erica Dressler. Erica, can you tell me, how are we diverting waste from the landfill today?
There's a lot of different ways, Paula, and in fact, you can see behind us a lot of different waste processing facilities, which we'll go and explore. But even this old landfill, you're standing on 35 years of Edmonton's garbage right now. We're actually harvesting the landfill gas that comes out of it. So that's methane and carbon dioxide. We capture it and then we use it to generate electricity. Over 50% of residential waste is being diverted currently, and our goal is to get to 90% diversion from landfill.
Okay, so what can we do at home to make sure that less waste ends up here?
That's a great question, and I'm really glad you asked it. So we all know reduce, reuse, recycle. Yeah. So here we do the recycling portion and we also recover. So we make sure we capture material that can be reprocessed and reused again. But the first 2 R's, reduce and reuse, that's the stuff you can do at home, and that is the most important thing. And really thinking about reduction. So for example, when you're out shopping and even home composting, but packaging. Thinking about packaging when you're shopping. That's a huge thing.
Awesome. Well, should we go take a look around?
That sounds great. We're here at the Integrated Processing and Transfer Facility, which we also like to call garbage land. Well, it's where all of our residential garbage comes. So it's all of the garbage bags come here, as you can see behind us, and then they're opened up. Organics like carrot peelings, apple cores, anything that biodegrades is sorted out and it goes over next door to our composter.
Oh, and what do you do with the compost?
We actually sell it.
Are there any other things that make the center money?
there are a few other things. So we do, of course, recover recyclables, and so that does generate some revenue. And we do have a new biofuels facility that is currently underway, so that will be making another product that's usable from our garbage.
That's really exciting. I learned from Erica that I've been making a few mistakes. Foam containers can't be recycled in Edmonton, and shredded paper should be thrown out because it can wreck the sorting machines. But light bulbs and batteries can be recycled at the eco station, and so can paint and some other hazardous materials. Okay, I'm gonna try this. My job is to take any cardboard and put it in the recycling, and then to remove any plastic bags. So, okay, here I go. It's so fast. Oh no, okay. No, that's not cardboard. Don't look down. Oh, no wait, wrong way. I'm doing everything backwards. This is really fast. I'm here with Brad Jones at GEEP. So Brad, what does that stand for?
GEEP stands for Global Electronic Processing.
And what do you do here?
Here at GEEP, we recycle over 50 million pounds of electronic devices per year, which also includes, on average, of approximately 10,000 TVs and monitors. We also recycle your computers, your CPUs, any sort of electronic device that you use at your home. We use it to recover reusable materials such as fibers, metals, and plastics. Those get further processed at our downstream in GEEP area in Ontario.
Erica, what are we looking at here?
So these are our biosolid lagoons, and they're full of biosolids, which is treated sewage sludge that comes to us from the Gold Bar Wastewater Treatment Center.
So what do you do with it?
It's used in the composting process. So we mix it with organic waste, food waste, yard waste, and compost it.
Wow, you really recycle everything.
We try.
I'm learning that the Edmonton Waste Management Center is fueled by lots of incredible engineering knowledge. Once again, the brain trust here is making me want to learn special skills and knowledge to put into practice in my personal life. I'm interested in how we share skills and how I can contribute to the circle economy and to sustainability in my own way. I went back to Dustin Bajer at Jasper Place High School so he could give me some examples of the circle economy in action. So Dustin, what is Rebel Breakfasts?
So it's really those kids who are coming in, don't necessarily have access to food in the morning, can come in, get free breakfast, and start the day with a sort of a healthy, nourished mind. There's a few needs and yields at play here. So the kids are getting work experience credits. They're also doing some food handling skills, so there's a lot of work around food literacy. There's obviously a need for food as well. So really it's the coming together of all of these.
Why did you decide to start Rebel Breakfasts?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of food insecurity in the province. This is a fairly diverse part of the city, and so there's some food insecurity here as well. There's a lot of students who are going to classes without that proper nutrition, and we feel fairly confident in saying that that students who are having those basic needs met are likely to be more successful when it comes to their academic work.
Can you tell me more about other programs like this that are going on around the school?
We also have a fantastic culinary arts program. So culinary arts at the school here, it's one of the only schools that the kitchen itself is actually run by a culinary arts program as opposed to a third-party provider. We've done a lot of quirky projects around living walls and food forests, and so food has kind of been a bit of a theme over the last couple of years.
Cool. Andrew, you're a student here at Jasper Place. What kind of sustainability projects have you been participating in?
Well, for a while I worked with my brother on designing and building a living wall, which the original one didn't turn out quite right, but Mr. Bajer took it and tweaked it, and now it's working good. It's meant to create a sustainable loop where the plants filter the water for the fish, and the fish, their waste fertilizes the plants. So yeah, that was meant to grow culinary herbs for the culinary arts program.
So we're in the Global Cafe right now. Are there any sustainable projects going on in here?
Yes, actually. There's the benches along the back and then the tables there. The artist decided that at the same time that he was designing the space, they were renovating the center gym floor. So he decided that, hey, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make these awesome tables out of it. And also the bar here is made out of pallets.
What are you planning on studying next year?
Next year I'm hoping to get into the University of Alberta for a general science degree.
And do you think your time here had any influence on that decision?
Oh, for sure. I think these ideas are going to stick with me forever because it's just such a better way to live. Like, you take something that you don't use anymore or you're going to throw out anyway and just use it for something else.
Jordan Wilson once told me about the permaculture concept of maximizing the edges. It means looking for possibilities in people or places outside your own. Permablitzes at Curtis Iwanchuk's farm are an example. Curtis wants to dig swales to conserve water, so he puts out a call for help. People come to learn the skill of swale building, get fed, and make friends. It's social and reciprocal, like good old-fashioned barn building. And, like Sam Jeffrey's rideshare program, it's all online. Social media, that's the way to get people to the party. I was online when I first discovered cash mobs. I'm here in the Mercer building with Jason Halbauer and Tommy Kalita. They organize cash mobs to promote local business. So can you two explain what a cash mob is?
Yeah, so the basic idea is we want to drive as many people to local business as we can. So we'll pick a spot, we'll get everybody to come on one day and just spend a bunch of money locally. It's great for the business, it's great for the people, and you get to meet your local makers.
Our goal is just to really put a spotlight on all the great local businesses in the city, and as I'm sure you know, they don't always get the press, or they don't have the budget that a lot of other of their competitors, their larger competitors, have. And so what we wanted to do is create an event where people have the opportunity to check out these great businesses and spend their money locally, where it's it's staying in the community rather than getting siphoned out to other parts of the world.
Cool. And why did you decide to do your cash mob here in the Mercer building?
I think the Mercers are a fantastic representation of the local business community in Edmonton. It's basically chock full of locally owned businesses, from the basement to the very top floor and everything in between.
What do people get out of participating in a cash mob?
It's kind of a win-win for everybody. I mean, the businesses get promotion, and then the people who come, they get to check out some local wares, they get to maybe learn about a taste of coffee that they've never had before. And then the best part of it, I think, is just the community that's built from it.
And I think it's worth noting as well that most people that open a business, small business, are passionate about what they do. They aren't just looking at trying to make money, but legitimately they're just trying to share their passion with the world. And so the great thing about Cash Mob is that we're able to introduce a lot of people to these passionate individuals and share what they're up to.
That's how to get people out to an event. Make it fun, an experience to share. I'm realizing that connections between people are more and more the point of events like these. And I want to explore that further, because a business in trouble is a microcosm of a world in trouble. I've learned ways to save water and conserve energy, but I'm starting to realize that money and waste are also forms of energy, and that I can use them to benefit me, my community, and the environment. The sharing economy means less stuff, maybe less new stuff, but also less energy expense and way less waste. Some futurists predict a world where products will be rejected if they're single-use, non-recyclable, or toxic. This circle economy is kind of like an ethics-based approach to economics, like Rebel Breakfast providing food security in schools, or Jason's cash mobs to get people to buy local. It's also about building community and caring for one another. This conscious choice to connect for the good of each other and the environment is what I'll explore next.